Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to spend some time talking to you about my migration from Bear to Obsidian. Let me start by saying I love Bear. Bear is one of the most beautiful applications, note-taking apps that are out there. Bar none. It's fantastic. Love it. And as you can see here, the fonts look great. Here's my brisket cooking and really liked it. But I'm going to share three things with you today. One, why did I change? Number two, what was the journey like? And three, advice for you if you're on this journey, what you can learn from the pitfalls that I've come across. But before I start, just let's have a few minutes and just look at how beautiful Bear notes are. The fonts are great. You've got your temperature things here. It really got a great search if I'm looking for bark. It'll find what the bark was excellent there, or what was the temps like. It's got the temps on each one of these things. It keeps my handwritten notes in here too that you can see. And it's absolutely incredible. And if you ever want to share things, it's phenomenal. Just right click, copy as plain text for maybe a text message, rich text if you're sending email, markdown, or HTML. And it does a phenomenal job on each part of that. Let's start with the first thing, which I said is why I had to say goodbye to Bear. And it really boils down to I now live in LLMs. My everyday I'm interacting with Claude or Perplexity or OpenAI and letting the computer do work for me. And I want all of my notes to be very quick and readily accessible to each one of the LLMs. And I just found that using Bear with a MCP server just didn't cut it. What's wrong with MCPs? I was using the unofficial Bear MCP server, which is great, had no bugs in it that I ran into, it worked perfectly for me. But the trouble with an MCP server and all MCP servers is it does a search through an API, it retrieves IDs, then it brings back each node, can open up the node, then you can manipulate the node. It's a lot of backwards and forwards. It takes time. And if you put things just in the file system, it's so much easier for the LLMs to manipulate them. The file system read and write is super fast, and it's cheaper in tokens. The migration seems pretty easily. First things you do, step one, install Obsidian. Why did I choose Obsidian? The premise was I wanted things as markdown in the file system. Two, exported from Bear, just did a bulk export, a backup from my Bear repository. Worked great. Bear does a really good job of that, puts it into my file system. And then I pointed the Obsidian imported into it, and it brought it all in, and everything was perfect. And if only that was the case, that would be the end of the video. But it was a lot more complex than that. And so what broke? Pipe characters and titles. And what you can see here in my notes is I use pipe characters a lot because it makes it easy for me to read. Brisket, okay, this is the date, these are the cook notes, right? And you can see this as my standard as you look through these things and go, okay, if you're using any special character in your note title, that doesn't work as the file name. The other big things is H1 duplication. You probably know this with Bear already, but there is no H1 that uses the title as the H1. And when you bring it to Obsidian, the title of the note would be this and the H1 of this. So you have a lot of duplicates that go along. The URL's encoding is a little off. And guess what? When I was syncing with mobile, I use Obsidian Mobile Sync. Anything over 5 megabytes just decided not to sync. And it felt nice and quietly. Things I wish I knew before I started this journey, and what I'll share with you is bringing things into Obsidian were pretty easy. Right? The import worked, it brings it all as a flat file, but Bear is tag first. And I had a hard time adopting Bear a long time ago because of tags. My tags are fairly flat in the sense that you've got recipes / brisket, but Obsidian loves folders. And actually my file system loves folders. And you've got to get that into your brain. Then you're also going to set up as all your attachments, all your PDFs, your images, everything else that are attachments inside of Bear are going to go to an attachments folder. Ideally, you're using an LLM to help you. Step 3. And you're telling the LLM, hey, this is a problem, we're going to have to fix it. I also created a property, and I'll get back to that, is front matter. Front matter is some properties that sit at the top of a markdown file. Bear doesn't use this at all. I think that's a weakness in Bear. The 5 plugins that I installed, and I'll just bring up Obsidian here so you can see it. Here's my Obsidian Vault, and I'm just going to go to the settings. You're going to go and decide how you want things to get displayed. And the parent here is, I'm using things as the theme that I want. Think about it as bare themes. There's a bazillion themes inside of Obsidian. And then install these community plugins, right? It's in alphabetical order here. You don't need advanced tables. Don't really need callout manager. I use those. It makes displays a bit better. Data view is critical, key critical. It gives you the ability to do SQL-like manipulation of your nodes. Importer, clearly you're going to import it. Minimal theme settings, that's an alternative to things. Notebook Navigator, you absolutely want this. This gives you the 3-column layout that looks just like Bear or very close to Bear. OmniSearch gives you search capabilities, which you don't have out the box in Obsidian. Style settings comes in with most of the customizations. Template, I do templates. I've got a previous video on how I use templates. And text extractor does some OCR. Now, the key step to me is use the power of your LLM. I use the power of Claude because you have everything now in your file system and go fix all my file naming problems, for instance, right? It also had to go and fix all my HEIC images because those don't come in and convert them to JPEG. Go and fix some of that URL encoding we talked about. You can see all 13 things that we did here. Probably the biggest lift was take my flat file folder, which had everything in with tags, remove the tags and put it into the correct folder. I would not be able to have moved without Claude. Doing this manually, I think I would still be doing now and would have given up a long time ago. Back to why did I want to move? I wanted to move so that my LLMs could actually access my file system. And now it's all sitting inside of Obsidian. And so I showed you the plugins and I can show you what it looks like in my brisket here. Very similar structure from before. Got the 3-panel layout. I've got my master recipe here, which looks like before. But what's really cool is I have all these brisket attempts, right? How many times I've done brisket, what's going on. And so looking at it today, what's really better in Obsidian for me? Main reason I moved, it's true, so much faster, uses so few tokens, able to manipulate, edit, collect files, do things that I could never have done before with the MCP in such a short period of time. Command line access, don't use a lot, but I like to sometimes grab things. Also like command line and also spotlight access. It's just file systems. And so one of the things I'll show you is I use Alfred a lot. So if I was going to go and look for my brisket recipes, I can type brisket. Here's the files now. They're all there straight from the file system. So Spotlight works wonderfully over it. There's no vendor lock-in, just markdown files. We talked about the YAML front matter. Don't go over the top. Keep it simple, stupid. That's my philosophy. It's a bit like on the iPhone analogy. Obsidian's like Android. You got lots of things, but you're on your own to put it together. And there's countless videos you can get in. What else is worse? The mobile UX is not as cool. And a Bear on mobile is absolutely beautiful. All the search stuff works. Tags to folders is a mental shift if you're a big tag user. I wasn't. I would say, was it worth it? Yes. Here's my 5 lessons that I'd like to leave you with. And probably the most important one is lesson number 3. Use AI to help you in this migration, because if you're doing the migration for any reason other than you want your LLMs to access the files, I'd say stay in Bear. Anyway, hopefully that's been useful. Drop me a comment. Tell me what you're doing. If you got questions, I'll endeavor to answer all comments. And that's it from me. Till next time. Bye-bye.